There is a voice that comes with depression, and most people do not realize it is lying to them. It sounds like your own voice. It feels like your own thoughts, but it is telling you things about God that are not true. Things like God is disappointed in you. God has moved on from you. God sees how broken you are, and He is tired of waiting. You have prayed too many times for the same thing. You have failed too many times to be forgiven again. You are too far gone for even God to reach. I need you to hear this clearly. Every single one of those thoughts is a lie, and I can prove it from Scripture. Stay with me, because what I am about to show you in the Bible will dismantle every one of those lies, one by one. But before I do, I need to show you something that happened to one of the greatest men in the Bible, a man so powerful that he called down fire from heaven, a man so close to God that God took him to heaven without death. And yet, depression told him the exact same lies it is telling you, and God's response was nothing like what you would expect. 1 Kings 18. Elijah had just experienced the greatest spiritual victory of his life. He called down fire from heaven. He defeated 450 false prophets. He watched God move in undeniable power. And then, 1 Kings 19. One threat from one woman, Queen Jezebel, and everything collapsed. Verse 3. Elijah was afraid and ran for his life. Verse 4. He came to a broom bush, sat down under it, and prayed that he might die. I have had enough, Lord, he said. Take my life. I am no better than my ancestors. Read that again. This is Elijah, the man who had just watched God send fire from heaven, sitting under a bush, alone, asking God to let him die. And then, the lie surfaced. Verse 10, I am the only one left. That was not true. God would later tell him there were 7,000 others who had not bowed to false gods. 7,000. But depression had convinced Elijah he was completely alone, that nobody else understood, that nobody else was fighting, that the darkness he felt was proof that God had left. Does that sound familiar? Depression does not just make you feel bad. It makes you believe things that are not true about yourself and about God. And Elijah, God's own prophet, sat under a bush believing every one of them. But here is what I need you to see. Because God's response to Elijah's depression was not what the church has told you to expect. God did not give him a lecture on faith. God did not tell him to pray harder. God did not remind him of the fire from heaven. God did something so simple, so human, so tender, that the first time I read it, I had to stop and sit in silence. 1 Kings 19, 5-6. All at once an angel touched him and said, "Get up and eat." He looked around, and there by his head was some bread baked over coals and a jar of water. He ate and drank and then lay down again. God sent an angel, not with theology, not with a sermon, not with a rebuke, with bread and water and rest. And then, verse 7, the angel came back a second time and touched him and said, "Get up and eat, for the journey is too great for you." The journey is too great for you. God acknowledged that what Elijah was carrying was heavy, too heavy, and his first response was not, "Try harder, believe more, get yourself together." His first response was, "You need food, you need water, you need sleep." God met Elijah's depression with the most basic human needs before he met it with any spiritual instruction. Let me say that again for someone who needs to hear it. God took care of Elijah's physical and emotional needs before he addressed his spiritual state. That means seeing a therapist is not a lack of faith. Taking care of your body, Sleeping, eating, resting is not spiritual weakness. It is what God prescribed to his own depressed prophet. Now I want to show you the specific lies depression tells you about God and what Scripture says about each one. Because depression is not just a feeling, it is a filter that distorts everything you believe. And when that filter gets placed over your image of God, it turns him into something he is not. Let me show you 4 lies and the truth that dismantles each one. And the 4th one is the one I want you to carry with you after this video ends. Before I go on, if you are watching this and depression has been telling you these lies, I want you to type "I hear the lie" in the comments below. Just those 3 words, because naming the lie is the first step to seeing through it. And I want you to know, you are not alone in this comment section. Now let me show you the 4 lies and the truth that sets you free. Lie number 1, God is disappointed in you. Depression whispers this constantly. You prayed and still felt nothing. You sinned again. You doubted again. You fell apart again. And the voice says, God is tired of you. The truth. Psalm 103, verses 13 to 14. As a father has compassion on his children, so the Lord has compassion on those who fear him. For he knows how we are formed. He remembers that we are dust. God does not look at you with disappointment. He looks at you knowing you are dust, knowing you are fragile, knowing you are human. And his response to that is compassion, not disappointment. Lie number 2, you are too far gone. This is the lie that feels most true, because it is built on real failure, real sin, real distance, real years of walking away. And depression says, the gap is too wide now. The truth. Luke 15:20. The father in the prodigal son saw his son while he was still a great way off. He did not wait for his son to arrive at the door. He ran. God does not stand at the door waiting for you to clean yourself up and knock politely. He sees you while you are still a great way off, and he runs. You cannot be too far gone for a God who runs. Lie number 3. God is silent because he does not care. This one is particularly cruel because depression already makes you feel invisible. And when prayer feels empty, when heaven feels closed, when the silence stretches on, depression says, see, he does not care. The truth. Isaiah 49:15-16. Can a mother forget the baby at her breast and have no compassion on the child she has borne? Though she may forget, I will not forget you. See, I have engraved you on the palms of my hands. Engraved, not written in pencil, not scribbled in sand, engraved permanent. Into the hands of God, your name, your face, your story. He has not forgotten. He cannot forget. You are written into him. Lie number 4. And this is the one I want you to write down. God cannot use someone as broken as you. This is the lie that does the most damage, because it does not just affect how you see yourself. It affects what you believe God can do with your life. And so you shrink, and you hide, and you wait to be better before you show up for God. The truth. 2 Corinthians 12:9. My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness, not despite weakness. In weakness, the broken places are not disqualifications. They are the exact locations where God's power shows up most clearly. Moses said he could not speak well. David carried the weight of serious sin. Peter denied Jesus 3 times. Paul persecuted Christians, and God used every single one of them, not after they were fixed, but in the middle of their breaking. Your depression is not the end of your story with God. It may be the very place where your story with God becomes most real. Now, I want to give you 3 practical things you can do right now. When the lies get loud, not spiritual performance, not pressure. 3 simple things that are rooted in what God did for Elijah under that broom bush. And the third one is the one that will stay with you longest. Number 1, name the lie out loud. Depression thrives in silence. The moment you say, "That is a lie," you create distance between you and the thought. You are not the thought. You are the one noticing the thought. Jesus said in John 8:32, "You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." Freedom starts with knowing, and knowing starts with naming what is not true. Number 2, do what God told Elijah: eat, drink, rest. Before God spoke to Elijah about his purpose, he fed him. If you are in a depressive season and you are not sleeping, not eating, not moving your body, start there, not because it will fix everything, but because God takes the body seriously, and so should you. Take care of the vessel before you ask the vessel to carry more. Number 3, and this is the one I want you to remember, let someone find you under the broom bush. Elijah did not pull himself together. He did not perform recovery. He did not hide his breakdown from God. He sat under a bush in full collapse and let God find him there. You do not have to be okay before God will come to you. You do not have to clean up the depression before you bring it to Him. Bring the bush, bring the collapse, bring the lie, and let Him send what you need, even if what you need is bread, water, and rest before anything else. And if you are carrying something too heavy, please reach out to someone you trust, a friend, a pastor, a counselor. God also works through people. He always has. Let me close with this. After God fed Elijah, after He let him sleep, after He sent the angel twice, God spoke. Not in the earthquake, not in the fire, not in the wind. 1 Kings 19:12. After the fire came a still small voice, the still small voice. Depression is loud, the lies are loud, the silence feels loud, but God speaks in the still small voice, and He is speaking to you right now. Underneath every lie depression has ever told you, He is saying, I have not left, I have not forgotten, I am not disappointed, you are not too far gone, I can still use you. And the journey ahead of you may feel too great right now. That is okay, because that is exactly what God said to Elijah. The journey is too great for you. He did not say, figure it out. He did not say, try harder. He said, eat, rest. I will be here when you are ready. And He was, and He is. If today's message reached you, share it with one person whose depression has been lying to them about God, because they need to know the voice they are hearing is not His. His voice sounds different. His voice says, get up, eat, rest. I am not done with you yet.